Alright, Chris Chapman back from Rusty Nuts Model Shop for another segment of our rusting tutorial. And I have to admit, we're getting close. I'm finishing this thing up. I've got three different processes to show how I'm going to finish up the body. And I've already, just to speed things up, you guys have seen me painting and everything so far enough, I think. I've got the body here. Because what I did is I ran some masking tape, the Testers masking tape around here, blocked that off. I sprayed hairspray. Now what I do is I decant it and put it in my airbrush and spray it on. And put on a pretty thick coat, and then I let it dry overnight. Do not use a blow dryer for this process because it evaporates all of the stuff that stays on here that prevents the water from going back through to the main bottom coats. So I kind of touched some areas up around here with some rust colored paints and stuff. And we're going to do now, this is the chipping technique where you use hairspray, which has been on. I sprayed a dark gray over the bottom part. This is going to be a two-tone color along with all the rust colors. And I went to Michael's and bought these a while ago. The little brushes, this one here is kind of soft but yet still firm. This one here is firm and this one is stiff as can be. These are what I use for a lot of my chipping techniques. I also use just a small paintbrush to apply the water, and I have a cup of water right here. One thing that I do like to have, oh, actually got it up here, little paper towel strip, just kind of clean and keep things on. And so with this technique is what you do, you get this on. Now the acrylic will get wet and it comes apart. And I'll show you how this process works. We'll go ahead and dip the brush, and where I know I have some of the underlining colors, I want to put a good amount of water on there. Now this has been sitting for a week or so. I think I did this last weekend. But as you put it on there, you just let it sit for a bit. Let it soak in. And it reactivates the acrylic paint, in this case being the gray. Now, see if we can get this here. I just sit there and use the brush. I got this fairly thick one, and you just kind of scrape away where you want the rust to show. And as you do it, it kind of helps to flow and blend this in. See how that's showing up there? Put a little bit more. Now if you take it, let it blend in like that. Put a couple of chips up in the upper area. You just kind of lightly scrape at it. And this is the effect you get. It just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows. And then whatever's there, if you just let it dry, the paint itself will dry again. At that point, I think that's looking good. So I'll go ahead and dab off the rest of the water. When that dries, it'll stay like that now. I've got an area right up in here And you can put quite a bit of water up and around the areas that you want. Now with me, I have the putty on there to show some texture, and then I went in there and sponged it. You guys saw that in the previous videos. That's all I'm doing now, letting it soak in, and then where all of that was at, I'm going to come across, just start taking some of that paint away. You can see how it's coming out right here. And you don't have to take it all off of where the putty was at, because that'll still show texture that's grown up underneath the paint where it's starting to peel. And with this, anywhere that the gray is, I can pretty much put water down. Let's get some right off of this corner right here. And doing that, that kind of gunked up that area. Take a little bit down in here, get some water, let it soak in for a minute. Just take a little bit off of that corner right there. And then I'm going to dab it. There you go. Now I got quite a bit across the back right here, so I'm just going to soak that whole thing in water. Let it soak in for a second. I'm going to grab onto this bigger one. Just randomly scratch across here. There you go. Okay, now we'll go ahead and move on around here to the other side. Get some water going on it. Let it soak in. Now I like to work in small sections. Just a little tiny area, so that I don't get too far ahead of myself. It gives me a chance and a reason to stop and look at what I've already done. And that quick, we got the rest down there. You kind of see how it goes on around. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to pause this. I will go ahead and finish getting the resting techniques really quick though while I have it, because I got the doors and stuff too. You can even use this technique by taking and just kind of brushing it on in a pattern here. Let it soak in. Now you can use old paint brushes to do this and stuff as well. And then you can turn around, kind of take it out of the middle areas, kind of randomly. So it'll leave little patches like that. Now, once it gets dry, it'll end up having that in there. Then you put your decals and weather them up. I will have decals on this, and I'll show that later on. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and then I'll go ahead and get this done, then come back to it. See you in a minute. Alrighty, gotten everything chipped off. You can see how it all came out. Now what I did is I took just a little bit of a lighter brown, you can see it, just kind of dabbed it on there with a paintbrush, just to give it a little bit of lighter context to it. You can see I got up there on the doors. Here's the other passenger door. And then one of the back doors, just a little bit along the bottom. And a little bit over on the other side. Now is what I'm going to go ahead and do next is let all this dry for just a little bit because it's been wet and reactivated. And then I'm going to tape off the bottom and come back and we'll take care of the top part, which is going to be along here. It'll be a lighter gray, and we will get that kind of decorated up a little bit, but we're going to do the salting technique with it. And I'm also going to show you how to reactivate. So stay tuned for that. Chris Chapman, Rusty Nuts Model Shop. Thanks for watching. Bye.